Are you willing to pay $72,000 for only one Bitcoin? A lot of investors do, and that's the reason Bitcoin hit 72K, a new all-time high. Let's check out the market together and see what's going on. Hi, my name is Rohan Rad. I'm your host at The Crypto Forecast. I'm so happy to be here. We're going to talk all about what is happening in the market today and for the last few days. We're going to check some news. We're going to check on-chain data, fear and greed index. We're going to see a lot of cool things together, and we're going to get a conclusion that Bitcoin is going to hit higher and higher ATHs, or it will come back down. So let's hop into the computer and talk about it. So as you can see, Bitcoin is $71,000. The whole crypto market looks really green, and we are seeing more and more activity on altcoins as well, which is really great. The market is gaining momentum after Bitcoin hitting a new ATH at $72,500. So the first index that we're gonna take a look at here is the fear and greed. So the fear and greed right now is at 81, still at extreme greed, and people are in a FOMO state and they're going crazy because of the ATH, and they're dumping money into Bitcoin and some of the altcoins actually. So it's time to be careful if you want to do any trades in the market, because the volatility is really high, as we're going to see in some of our on-chain data. But overall, the good sentiment, the positive sentiment still goes on because of the Bitcoin having about 30 to 40 days from now. So the first on-chain data that we're going to check together is the aSOPR. So aSOPR hit higher and higher numbers before the start of March, and the first week of March, and it has kept going. So it shows a lot of people are now in profit in the market, which is obvious because of hitting a new ATH. But the important thing is that these peaks show people realize some of their profits, and the number came back down. The total addresses that have actually realized their profits. And if you look at a wide spectrum of this one, it shows us that a lot of people are realizing their profits compared to this 1 year spectrum of this on-chain data, and the peaks are really high, so you have to be careful, as it shows a lot of people are realizing their profits. Next one is MVRV. As you know, it shows how much is the value of Bitcoin's overall market right now, and if you look at it in a broader range, we are seeing a really high places. Let's look at it in a really broader range. So the last bull market that happened in 2020 and 2021, we saw the same kind of levels, 60, 68, 70,000, almost $70,000, and we hit peaks at MVRV as well, at 2.6, 2.5, and we are seeing the same kind of levels here and even higher levels. So you have to really be careful at this point of the market, which shows Bitcoin is obviously almost overvalued, and you have to consider that at this point of the market. The next data that we're going to check together is net unrealized profit, or NUPL. NUPL is in extreme greed. It has been in extreme greed for the last month, and if we check out a 1 year plan of this one, we see that we came back down at the start of February to the greed, but we gain momentum again, and we are going higher and higher, and it doesn't seem to stop at this point of the market. Next up, we got CDD, my favorite on-chain data. So as you can see, we are seeing peaks after peaks after peaks, baby. So CDD shows that, you know, long-term investors and long-term holders are actually selling at this point of the market, and they're dumping their coins. But since there's a lot of FOMO in the market, people are still willing to buy Bitcoin, and you know, their orders get filled really fast. So this is a data to consider if you want to go long. You should know that a lot of people are actually realizing their profits, and they are selling at these you know, important market points and price points. Next data that we're gonna check together is the open interest. Let's go to the futures market, right? Open interest also hit a new all-time high. Let's check out, you know, the data for a wide spectrum, and you see these levels are the levels that we haven't seen anywhere. Like more than 70, almost $80 billion in open interest, and in the futures market and option market. This is crazy, which shows a lot of interest, a lot of FOMO and attention right now in the market, and combining it with, you know, the funding rate that we have here, which also hit you know, really high numbers, you know, just as high as we've seen in the last bull market. It shows that the probability of right now having volatility in the market is really high. Besides that, the market could reverse in its you know, current movement, but still, since people are buying, people are in a FOMO state, they could push the price higher and higher. And to be honest, since we don't have a data to look back at and you know, decide how much more Bitcoin can actually go up, we can't really say, you know, it can go to what number. It can go to 80, it can go to 75, it could go to 100K, but these are just possibilities. The real data shows that there is a lot of FOMO in the market, and if you want to open positions in either way, it's super risky at this point. So the next data is MPI. The reason I have miners positions right here in this video, you know, is that we're closing in on having, and we have to keep in mind, and you know, we should focus on miners position. What are they doing? Are they selling, or are they just still holding to get more profit out of the market? Because when halving happens, I think in you know, in short term we are going to lose many of Bitcoin's, you know, small miners, but right now it shows that they are in profit, but they are not selling their profit. And if we look at a 1-year plan of it, we are hitting high numbers, we are hitting peaks after peaks, but miners aren't still selling what they earned through mining. The next important data is the bloom of DeFi. Finally, after a long period of time, after almost 2 years of, you know, bear market, winter, anything you want to call it, we are finally seeing DeFi gaining momentum, getting at $103 billion. And obviously a lot of different platforms are getting attraction from investors at this point. And I think it's important to see these altcoins and try to dig deeper in each sector that could potentially gain huge profits in 2024, which I am working on a really good video just for you guys about the trends that could blow up in 2024. So stay tuned, because I will drop it next Sunday. Time to talk about the news. So the news I gathered here are from the past 3-4 days. So first of all, finally the Bitcoin portfolio of El Salvador hit you know, new highs. 85 million profit for El Salvador. You know, they called them crazy when they started, you know, using Bitcoin, but in long term, it showed out how their plan and their vision was true and right. As you can see in this chart, these are the places and the prices that they actually bought Bitcoin in, and this is their average, they're doing really good right now with a ton of profit. Their average is about $30,000, and now Bitcoin is at 72. Next up, we have ETFs of Ethereum. So this this is taking a long time to come. A few months back, if we look at the data and the news that we had, we saw people talking about Ethereum ETFs a lot, especially because Bitcoin ETFs were not approved yet, and there were a lot of speculations in the market. But right now they're kind of settling down, and people are betting on both sides right now. It's like 50-50 that SEC finally decides that it wants to have ETFs of Ethereum or not. But overall, we see Coinbase, Grayscale, VanEck, and a lot of big companies who already have Bitcoin ETFs, coming up together and talk with SEC. But overall, I don't think it is going really well. The only thing for Ethereum that you can bet on is the Duncan update, which is coming in 3 days from now, which I'll cover the news right here. But overall, I don't think anything else will happen at this point. We probably need more time to see what is going to be the outcome of all these talks and everything. Also, Bloomberg analysts talk about this as well, and SEC has been really quiet on what will happen on ETH ETFs, unlike what we actually saw on Bitcoin. Let's look at the next data. Okay, this is important. So as I talked about, little miners or miners with limited amount of ASICs will drop out of the market. The big miners like Marathon, like Bitfarm, they're actually adding to their mining power, so they can still mine and keep their profit and be in the game as long as they could. And these types of investments shows that we are moving towards miners with more power, staying and capturing a lot of the hash rate for themselves. Next one that I want to talk about is the gaming sector, which I will cover in my next video that I talked about that will come out in Sunday. So as you know, the gaming sector had a lot of activity in 2023. A lot of people, a lot of investors invested in it. They are making better UIs, they're making better UXs for these games. Web3 games weren't really interesting, to be honest, but now things are actually changing, and we see companies like Ubisoft, like EA or Activision, they could potentially come into the sector and make it go crazy. Ubisoft already has a market cap of over 2 billion. Activision over 70 billion. It's a big thing. I think if you try to find gems in this sector, the GameFi sector, you can actually blow up and get a ton of profit from this sector. So this was the news that I wanted to cover. Look for any sort of data that says these companies are entering Web3 gaming, or they are launching a new line, a new project, especially if that project has a fan base in Web2 gaming, like for Ubisoft, Assassin's Creed, or I don't know, Far Cry, something like that. That could gain a lot of attraction from people, and gaming tokens could blow up easily. One thing that you have to be careful in this week is this crazy Arbitrum release of tokens. 76% of circulating supply. Totally I'm bullish on Arbitrum. I already worked on Arbitrum network because of its high TVL, because all the great things it has. Just one note here, 16th of March is the date to consider right here. But overall, this is a crazy amount. So you have to really be careful. The dips, I think, if the selling pressure happens, which probably is not going to be a lot, but because we are in a bull market. But if it happens, I see it as a dip to buy more Arbitrum for myself, to be honest. And the reason is definitely the Duncan update that I talked about. The Duncan update is coming in 2 days, and the estimation for price, the gas fee reduction for layer 2s of Ethereum looks like this. And to be honest, it's crazy to see these numbers. This could be the game changer for Ethereum, and this will make other projects like Solana, like ADA, like XRP, any of these projects that want to compete with Ethereum, they have to probably come up with something like this. Ethereum right now is like the Apple in phone sector. Samsung, Xiaomi, all these companies see what Ethereum does, and they try to implement it for themselves. So I think we're gonna have similar updates in the coming months for other layer 1s, as I talked about it. But these numbers could help the network immensely. People will start doing more transactions because the cost is really lower, but still the cost of mainnet transactions are really high, and they won't probably change in the near future. One more data to see is that after Duncan update, the fees could average around 79 cents, which is still a lot, but overall it's gonna be a really good update, and that's the reason that Ethereum got a lot of attention in this market and went higher and higher, now hitting more than $4,000. Also, we got BlackRock holding more BTC than MicroStrategy. I heard the news that 4% of total supply of Bitcoin is now distributed in the hands of companies like BlackRock, VanEck, Fidelity, all of these companies who have their ETFs. But a few days after this news, we had MicroStrategy and MicroSaylor say they bought new Bitcoin at 68,000, and their average is about $33,000, and they are holding about more than 200,000 Bitcoins, which is already crazy. They are the biggest holders of Bitcoin in the market now. Our last one is the lawsuit of Binance. Binance hit a lot of bumps in the past year. SEC did a lot of pressure, put a lot of pressure on Binance, and now people in US are suing Binance for selling selling and promoting security unregistered security tokens and offering them, and they say we didn't know that, they promoted this, and they are basically using this situation to gain profit from Binance, and Binance is not doing really good at this time, and this shows the trend for DEXs will happen soon enough. So if it's a sector you want to really look at in the long-term future, is probably the DEX sector, and I think great things gonna happen to these tokens in the whole industry. Let's briefly talk about the technical data. So as I told you, there's a lot of FOMO in the market, so we can't really decide how much higher the Bitcoin could go. But if it comes down, if we saw if we saw another shadow like this in the market, it will probably be in these price levels. And you can also use this EMA, 100 days EMA, to as a dynamic support for the price right now. But overall, 66K, 65K, and $60,000 are the levels to consider if the market dips a little bit and gains momentum to go back up. So guys, thank you for being with me in this video. I hope you learned a lot of stuff. One thing I have to mention is that all the things that I talked about aren't financial advices. It's just educational and for entertainment purposes. And although I hope you can use this data and make better decisions on your own trades. I want to thank you for being with me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day and see you in the next video.